Hey, what's going on, fellow survivors? This is Sid, and I'm back to you again with another mod spotlight. Now, I know I haven't done these in a few weeks, so my apologies. We're going to try to get back to a regular schedule and doing these on a weekly basis. But nonetheless, today I have for you a very popular mod that's in a workshop right now, and that is the Castles, Keeps, and Forts architecture mod. So I talked to these guys today, actually, and you'll see an interview with them in the mod spotlight about what's going on in this mod and how it got created. But I thought I would run this through because people really love structure mods, and I figure this is one of the ones that's starting to trend a little bit lately. So I figured we would check it out together. So what I have here is I built a little castle. Now, my castle is not as impressive as some of the castles that are out there and that are built with this mod. So don't judge me too harshly. So for those that are new to the videos, anybody that's watched me before, I can be a little critical, but it's all in a good nature. I don't mean it. It's not coming from a bad place. I'm just a very critical person, critical of myself, critical of everything, critical of life itself. So, if you're watching this video, it's I appreciate all the work that everybody's doing for all of the mods, and not trying to discredit anybody's hard work for any of the things I say, but I'm also just a critical person. So you're also going to get like real feedback on things that at least I see. So that's what you're looking forward to here. So the Castles, Keeps, and Forts architecture mod is done by two guys. One of them is Exile, and the other one is Henrik. Henrik is more of the community manager for the mod, and Exile is the one that's doing most of the design work, the scripting, the implementation, things like that. So that's good to know. So what we have here is just like any other, a lot of the popular structure mods that are out there. Some of the key features you're going to see in this are rounded foundations and rounded walls, and that's how you're able to make these cool structures here. The other thing I will say is that they are really technical as far as knowing all the castle lingo. I don't know the castle lingo. I know that the top things are called battlements, but that's about all that I know. So if I butcher something on here in terms of lingo, just forgive me, and you can school me in the comments if you like to. But back to the features of the mod. So you have rounded foundations, you have rounded walls, you also have triangle foundations. I don't think that I have any down right now, so you can't see those. Let's see if I have some in my inventory. No, or actually I do. Well, I have diagonal walls, so you kind of see how those look. But diagonal foundations work the same way, and they allow you to build some really cool, as you can see here, some really cool different orientations that you can't normally do with typical ARK. So that's one of the things that I think that sets this part or this mod apart from a lot of other mods. The other thing that I think sets this part or this mod apart from other mods is the fact that you can actually change the materials on these, which if anybody of you follows the mod community, you'll know that one of the more popular mods, and I think it's placed in our modding contest, is the ARK advanced architecture mod, and it has some of the same similar feelings to this mod. You'll find this one I feel like is more catered to castles, whereas the advanced architecture, while it does have things where you can build castles, I feel like this is specifically for castles, whereas advanced architecture is more of a general overarching theme of medieval based structures and things like that. So that would be my difference, but you'll see a lot of the similarities in these two mods as you go through this. So I'll show you the interface here. So here's the interface for any wall that you put up or any foundation that you put up. You have some options here where you can choose different materials, and you can even pick up any of these structures, which is really cool. As I was building this, there were a couple times where I didn't get things exactly how I wanted, and I had to in a normal mod you have to destroy it and you have to rebuild it. Here you can just pick it up and you can reuse that piece. But here are the options you have for materials. So this one, the one that we're on now, is gray stone, but we have stuff like mossy, which gives it a nice little mossy feel as you step back. We'll change this one to obsidian, which I think looks pretty cool there. Actually, I think that looks really, really cool. And there's other options. You have sand. You have, let's see, dark matter, which you can see the animation on that. That looks really trippy. And then I think there's a fire or like a yeah, hellfire, and then step back so you can see that a little bit better. And then the last one I think I did not show is frosty. So those are your different combinations of materials that you can have on these walls. Now the cool thing about this is not everybody's structure will look the same, considering that you can style it how you want, which that's a pretty cool thing. So that's one of the features I already like about this mod. The other features that I really like about this mod, and I think a lot of builders will appreciate this. I'll have to go inside so I can show you this. So there are no collision checks on these structures. So if you build, you know, when you're trying to build something and it says it's obstructed and you can't get things exactly how you want, or you have foundations laying and you start to place out your foundations and the hill comes and you can't place it anymore. Well, this mod takes care of that. And you can even see back here, you can see the ground. So I literally had to place structures under the ground, which it's really cool because a lot of times it is hard to get that exact design that you're looking for. So that allows you to build literally wherever you want to go. And even here, you can see the terrain wasn't exactly even. So it wasn't a problem using these structures, whereas other mods, you might see some problems when you're trying to build things like that. So that was a nice little feature. Another cool feature is, oh man, I forgot my castle term for this. We're going to call it gates, but I know there's a proper term for it. So you're going to laugh at me later. But this allows you to build, oops, what did I just do? I destroyed it. Oh man. Well, that's a blooper. I didn't mean to destroy that. I was trying to bring it down. But this allows you to build really cool gates, and they're actually vertical. They live vertically, and they don't, you know, they're not horizontal or anything. They live vertically, which is pretty cool. It's a different functionality that I'm not used to seeing in mods. So kudos for that. So I think the important things that people want to know when they're getting into or are going to play with a mod like this is it stackable? Okay, so can I load this in with other mods and not have any conflicts? The other thing I think people look at is, what are the snap points like? Is it easy to build with these? Now, I know there are a lot of mods out there that have just some really annoying things with snap points, my mod included. So I totally get that frustration, and it's not exactly easy to get clean snap points when you're working inside the dev kit. So the one thing I noticed in this mod is that I didn't have any issues with snap points. I will have to say that their snap points are done incredibly well, and you can barely even notice where some of the seams are. So kudos again for that, because it's not easy to do. Trust me, I know firsthand. So those are some of the cool things about the mod that you're going to see. Here's the other cool thing. I forgot to point this out. So not only can you change the material, you can also change the actual mesh of the object. So here we have some more medieval styled houses that you're able to change this mesh into, which is really, really cool. So those are just a couple things that I've noticed while I've been playing this. I'm going to go ahead and set the time of day back to something that's a little bit more suitable. There we go. So I'm going to say this isn't a proper castle in the sense that I didn't build it in an easy way to get around it. Like, there's no way to get upstairs at this point, so it's not really a functional castle. But I just wanted to build it so you can see some of the pieces and some of what you could do. Some of what the more talented people would do is build things that are a lot better than this. But so is it stackable? Yes. It should not conflict with any other mod. In fact, there's a separate structure to where you build these from, so it won't conflict with anything that anybody else has done with the smithy. So that's a plus. So that's good. And then the snap points already answered that. So two really important things that you'll want to know is I wanted to give you answers to that because I feel like those are important to know. So let's get to pet peeves, because everybody has pet peeves and mods. I have pet peeves. Everybody has pet peeves. And then we'll talk a little bit about what the future for this mod is and what we can expect going forward from this team. So pet peeves. What I will say is the materials do not look high def to me. From a distance, they look pretty good. I mean, you're looking up now, it's like, wow, that looks pretty good. What is he talking about? But as you get closer, you kind of see they aren't necessarily the cleanest that they could be. So if you're one of those visual people and that's a really big thing for you and everything has to be, kind of high def and look really clean, then keep that in mind when you go to look at this mod. I mean, there's definitely, I know they're still working on it. So there's more to do. And in fact, I think this material is even from the ARK dev kit. I don't think this is a custom material. So it looks like you use one of the materials that are on the standard rocks and applied that to the wall here. The other pet peeve. So you see these the little accents that create the holes in the wall. Like I feel like those should be a different material to make them pop a little bit more. Oh wow. Yep, that's what I wanted to do. Because as you stand back, you can see it just kind of all blends in together. So personally, and design and art and things like that are all subjective. So you can completely have a different opinion than that, and that's okay. Just giving my feedback on it. I feel like those could be a different material because it helps it blend or it helps it stand out a little bit more as you stand back. Like everything just kind of blends together. So that would be one piece that I would give. I would definitely change that up a little bit to give it a to make them stand out a little bit more and make it accent a little bit more. Oops, 1 second. So that's one of my pet peeves. The other is this. So you see how these ceilings they kind of intersect this large gate that we have here. And I know that's just the way the ceilings are designed, but might want to think about coming up with a custom piece for these situations. And because of the no collision checks that the structures enable, this is why this wall is able to, or this ceiling is able to go through this gate. So that's a feature in the mod that allows that to be possible. But again, I would like to see, a different. That's a little bug too. That's not really big. So I think it's something with the materials and the way that he's changing the materials. When you go to destroy the mesh, it often comes up with the checkerboard, the vanilla checkerboard texture. So that's a little thing as well. Wanted to destroy these. There you go. So you can kind of see the shape, the overall shape of what I was trying to design here and why I think it might be helpful. So you can kind of see there, maybe you do a half ceiling, where it kind of cuts a little bit, but I don't know what you can do. But those are just little things that a lot of times pet peeves for builders are turn out to be really big. Especially when you're trying to build a huge fortress and you run into that little piece that you can't finish because, you don't have that proper structure, to help fill that gap. So that's another little pet peeve. What else? Out of pet peeves in total, I don't have a lot with this mod. There's a lot of well-designed structures, a lot of well-modeled structures. The textures, I think they could probably use a little work. That's just my opinion on it. But again, that's all subjective. You may feel like they look great, and if you like them, that's all fine and dandy. It doesn't take away from some of the cool things that I've seen in this mod already, like the material changers, and the custom, like where you can actually change the mesh of completely. Those are things that, oh man, I did not mean to do that. Those are things that you do not see typically, with mods. So that's a really cool thing. All in all, I feel like there aren't many negative things about this mod. I mean, how can you have anything negative when you're just, have all these cool structures that you can add to the game, and really make things more customizable. Like I said, my biggest thing with this mod would be the textures. I mean, even back here, that seems a little blurry to me, especially this Hellfire one. Just seems a little blurry. So I think it could use a little work on the textures. Snap points are great. The stackability is great. The actual models themselves, the 3D models, are great. So I think just with a little bit of TLC, and I think that this could be, not that it's not a great mod already, but I think you could take it to the next level. So again, like I said, I talked to them, and you should check out the community workshop or the community spotlight that we're going to do in this. But some of the things are in the future. I think people are going to really be excited for. They base all of this off of real castle architecture, so they're adding things to the game or adding things to the mod that are going to be real life, structurally correct representations of those things. So it should be really cool to see some of this added into the game. And they're really, really cool guys, really humble guys that built this. So I can't wait to see what's in the future and what's in store for the rest of this mod. Because from what I'm seeing so far, it's amazing. I mean, this in itself, being able to build something like this, is really cool. And like I said, some of it you're going to feel like is similar to advanced architecture if you've ever used that mod. So you might feel some similarities, but like I said, I think this one is more it's more catered to castles, all about castles and those type of things. So it is a little bit different than what you would see in the advanced architecture. But I really love where they're going with this mod. There are some things that I wish I would like to see, like cathedral based windows and things like that to make these really stand out, or like banners that you can hang over the edge of this. Just little things like that to even take it to the next level. And probably just a little bit of, like I said, touch up work on the textures themselves. But otherwise, it's a really cool mod. I think everyone is going to enjoy it. I mean, how can you not like building castles? I mean, and another important thing to point out, all of these have, and actually I'm looking at their workshop right now, so forgive me, but all of these have the same damage stats as metal, so that's a plus. People on PvP servers always typically they go to metal because it's going to offer the best defense, and you don't really build in anything other than metal because what's the point? You're just going to get raided. So these, what I like about it is it allows you to change the material and give it a different feel without necessarily changing the base stats, which is a good thing because it allows you to be more, creative with some of your designs and some of the things you're building. So that's a plus. And I think they have the same insulation properties as Adobe. So those are important things to note about this. I will say that I think he said the materials, and we can actually see, maybe we can't, because I don't know if I have the engrams right now. The materials needed to craft these, I wanted to say they were pretty heavy. I think he quoted that they are the same as metal with stone added. So if you're used to building metal bases, that's what building this castle will be like, in addition to the stone you would need to gather to build these. So not a light task by any means. It's something that will probably take a little while to build something like this. But if you're playing more in a creative fashion, where you're just spawning things in, you'll definitely get there, and you'll be able to build something like this. But even this took me 2 to 3 hours to build, and that's probably because I suck. But you guys are probably much better and can do it a lot faster. And you can even see that I suck here because I didn't even design my stairs the right way. I can't even walk up these stairs, but they look pretty cool. So I've shown you the major features of this mod. It is a structure mod. You have rounded walls, triangle walls, pillars, all of the things you would need to build a really cool looking castle. In addition, you have some customization options with the materials that makes this a really standout mod, and definitely one to keep our eyes on because there's no reason why this is so popular right now. So I don't think I have anything else for this week. I know this one was a pretty quick one, but as I said, I would like to get back to doing this on a weekly basis. So if you have any recommendations of things you would like me to run through and take a look at, put them in the comments. If you're having a bad day, put it in the comments. If you want to tell me that I'm doing a good job, put it in the comments. If you want to tell me that I'm doing a bad job, put it in the comments. So please like, subscribe, do all of that fun stuff. And I will see you again here next week with another mod. And again, this is Sid from Wildcard. You guys have a good one.